Video, we're going to deep dive karma in a way that you may have never heard before. Now, if you watch this video, it's not going to be a long video, and karma a little more. Go ahead and comment a eye emoji. And if you watch this video and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then go ahead and comment, I don't know what the H you are talking about, so I can just know. All right. So we're going to begin this video with a quote, and I will repeat this quote throughout the video because this is the basis of karma. It is better to do one's own Dharma, even though imperfectly, than to do another's Dharma, even though perfectly. By doing one's own innate duties, a person does not incur sin. I'll repeat that. It is better to do one's own Dharma, even if you do your own Dharma imperfectly, than to do another person's Dharma, even if I do another person's Dharma perfectly. By doing one's own innate duties, a person does not incur sin. So, to summarize this, if you don't get it, if I teach you how to be me and you be me perfectly, then that would pale in comparison to if you did yourself half-ass. So when you ask a person, hey, can you teach me how to become like you? And if you learn how to do that perfectly, if Michael Jordan taught you how to be the best basketball player ever, but it wasn't in your cards to be a basketball player, then he would have failed. He would have felt like a failure type of teacher. But the reality is, you must know your own blueprint. And your own blueprint is found within yourself. And this is why we're here. Know thyself. Know thy soul. But it's a block to that soul, and that block is called karma. What is karma? Your desires, your wants, your likes, and requirements. In essence, karma separates each and every person. Why do you say that? Because each and every person has a different desire, a different set of wants, a different set of likes, and a different set of requirements. So if you are an easy type of person, like a person can just easily get your attention, easily, get you in the bedroom, then that would separate you from a person where you got to give them $1,000. Some girls you can have sex with for free. Some girls you can't have sex with for nothing. It's just all relative. Everybody has different karma. It's some girls you could be like, hey, how you doing? It's some girls that you could say, here goes $1 million, and they still wouldn't fuck with you. It's some people have different desires, wants, likes, and requirements. So even in the spiritual sense, in the religious sense, and every type of sense in the world, because I have these different desires, requirements, then I will use that as my God. I will use that as my soul. But the reality is, there is no separation between you and others. There is no separation between us and the God force energy. But when we are in a society that teaches karma, it teaches individuality. It teaches that you need to get your desires met. You need to get your wants met. If you don't like that man, you need to leave that man. If he don't meet your requirements, you need to just skedaddle. And then people will say, well, Hood, are you saying that I'm wrong? No, I'm saying that you perk the fuck out because your ex-husband or your baby daddy, or the first person you gave some buns to, there was no prerequisite. He got the buns off of GP, but that didn't work out right for you. So now it's like a strategy. You feel me? So karma is always a nigga's strategy to skim and scam and scheme his way through this matrix. However, you can override karma by simply adopting a spiritual life. Karma is made up of 4 elements to help you get over karma. Because if you wake up today and say, I'm going after my desires, I'm going after my wants, I'm only fucking with people that I like, and if you don't meet my requirements, you gain no access to my energy, you are living in a world of karma. That's just the facts. Now, if you want to get out of karma, there are 4 tenets to help you get out of karma. Now, you got to understand, when you are in karma, you are in karma. When you are out of karma, you are out of karma. So let's talk about it. These 4 modes are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And each is a sequential step. And if you follow these 4 steps, you will be outside of karma. The first step is Dharma. Now, if you look online for a definition of Dharma, phone got too hot for a second. Information too hot. So, to simplify Dharma in a sense where it's not confusing, Dharma is simply how deeply, how serious are you when it comes to loving God, goddess, spirituality, and divinity? How is that your primary focus? Now, once again, to love God, this is happening when you are a child or you're an adolescent. Some part of your life, whether you Muslim, Christian, Jewish, you found yourself immersed in the word of God. Let me see if I can get this together. You was immersed in the word of God. And this is Dharma. How deep is your sincerity when it comes to the divine? Now, when you are in your desires, wants, likes, and requirements, that is your karma. That is your God. So if you desire me and you want me and you like me and I meet your requirements, you're going to give me some ass. It done worked too many times in the past with girls that I don't even fucking remember. If I meet their desire quota and they want me bad enough and they like me enough and I fit whatever requirements, height, weight, complexion, race, fingernail dirt, you name it. I got short hair over long hair, access granted. But every time them girls gave me pussy, I wasn't the one. Whatever they thought was going to happen after that, whatever I thought happened was going to happen after that, it did not happen because it existed in karma. I had to change my life around. Love my soul, love my meditation, love God, and that other part opened up for me. Now, when I was younger, I was very interested into the Bible. When I got to prison, I started getting really interested into the Bible. And then I moved to Columbus and I got really interested into my soul work. Now, I labeled 3 times in my life where things was fucked up. So the problem with karma, and if you living in karma and you getting your desires met, you getting your wants met, you getting your likes met, you getting your requirements met, you have no reason to love God. You have no reason to love Goddess. You have no reason to love your meditation. So in the trajectory of my life, Spirit put my ass in prison, put me in the hole. Spirit put me in Columbus, Ohio, to live, not to visit, to live. Now, I grew up in Ohio. We were afraid of Columbus because the niggas in Columbus is different. We knew if we was in the wrong place, in the wrong time, them niggas was going to take you off this earth. Now, I don't know why I lived there. It was because my aunt had lived there and I didn't want to go live with my aunt, but I made a lot of decisions that led me to Columbus, Ohio. This is where I got serious with my soul work. This is where I began to love Kyrie as the spiritual being. This is where I birthed the Hood Mystic. This is where I found the Native American mounds. The rest is history. However, it's easy to forget this component, especially if I put out a book, How to Read Natal Charts Easily and Effectively, and it's on Amazon, going crazy. I'll be on here talking shit to y'all about all types of weird shit. In the meantime, in between time, niggas is on Amazon buying my book like it's crack. And so because people use my astrology book, we talking about the white people though, the white people of the world. We not talking about the supporters and the black people, black conscious people like that. They come in and out. I start triggering niggas and niggas stop fucking with me. But good thing is good old white people that love to surf Amazon and buy astrology books, How to Read Natal Charts Easily and Effectively, which is, in my opinion, my worst book, but it's my best-selling book. Ain't that some crazy shit? Ain't that some crazy ass shit? But because I love God so much, because I love spirituality so much, it began to merge these ideas into actual books, into actual shit. But then, as quick as it happened, I moved back into karma. Because I'm like, shit, everything is going good. Or so I think. But you can't be in karma and be out of karma at the same time. So if nobody understands this video, which y'all should comment, I don't get it, or comment the third eye, I understand, I see what you're saying, or anything in the middle. So we have Dharma, how deeply you love God. Following Dharma. Now, this is something that you have to grasp, because it's hard to love God and have desires, wants, likes, and requirements. Because God is invisible. God is not attached to the physical reality. However, when you love God enough, it brings you into Artha. Artha is physical and metaphysical wealth, finances, currency, things of that nature. Now, if you were anything like me, I would look at people who made a lot of money and I would say, I want to make a lot of money just like them. So I didn't realize that I was in karma. I desired the money. I wanted the money. I liked the money. Hell, I even required having money for my happiness. So that means I was never happy, right? That's a crazy thing. But I didn't have it. And I wanted what they had, but I didn't know how to get it. I'm telling y'all how to get it. How deeply do you love God? How deeply do you trust God? And I know your life situations and circumstances will make you question God. And that's fine. That's fine. I get it. I've been in some situations But I'm not even going to lie to you. I've never been in a situation that made me want to question God. And I've been in some fucked up situations. However, I do not question whether God is real. Even if I cannot see it, I can't verbalize it. It is better to do one's own Dharma, even though imperfectly, than to do another's Dharma, even though perfectly. By doing one's own innate duties, a person does not incur sin. So if you can look at your life and see God all up through that bitch, and you can rest assured that God is in your every move, that separates you. That gives you the space. But we got to be conscious and we got to be spiritual to say, sometimes I might drift back into karma hood. Sometimes I forget completely that it wasn't my desires, wants, likes, and requirements that saved me. It was my ability to love God incessantly, to make God, goddess, spirituality, divinity be an imperative thing that I could not let go of. But it's a trick bag to it because I love God so much, hood. I love the goddess so much, hood, that it began to manifest positive things in my life. And I started to love the things that God brought into my life more than the actual God, goddess paradigm, imagination, miracles, meditation, clarity that brought these things. I began to fixate on these particular things so much. So, you know when people love to say they love my videos, when I'm talking a bunch of shit, when I'm, talking about the hoes and I'm being real facetious, being satirical, motherfuckers like, man, I seen that video. You funny as hell. But I bet you a spiritual nigga won't comment and send me a text message or call me and tell me they seen this video. That's just a side note. Because niggas, whether y'all know it or not, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the people that leave comments. It's a large population of people who want to watch and listen in private. Because then you will start to think like, well, damn, where do such and such get all their ideas from? That's a side note. Karma. So we got Dharma. How deeply you love God. That brings financial, material rewards. But since we understand how we got it, we ain't tripping on it. I'm about to go into the gym. I ain't gonna walk in the gym like, I got a book on Amazon, right? No, for real, that shit selling. I got a YouTube channel. I got some subscribers too. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I got a website, right? ColumbianExchange.com. You could buy herbs and all types of shit. I sell psychic. Like, I'm not about to do that. Not about to do that. I love God so much that it give me all of these ideas and bring all this currency in my life. One's in the chat if you understand what I just said. I said that I love God and the goddess so much that it brings positive things in my life. And people don't understand that about me. Where people say, what's a good protection ritual, hood? Comment in the chats, what's a good protection ritual based on the conversation that we've been having thus far. I want to know, do I got somebody who understands what I'm saying? What's a good protection ritual? What's a good protection ritual? A good protection ritual is to love your meditation with all of your heart and soul. To love your clarity with all of your heart and soul. To love your peace of mind with all of your heart and soul. And that's one of the best protection rituals. Actually, depending on who's washing that ass, that was actually going to attract more niggas than you would like to in your biosphere. Speaking of more niggas being in your biosphere, let's talk about Kama, the enjoyment of the flesh. Once again, we experience Kama before we love God, before God surrounds us with material objects and experience. We get ass when we turn 16. I've been playing house since I was 5 years old. A good protection ritual is to love God and Goddess, love the spiritual nature, love the breath, love the non-physical world, to love it, to service it, to build a relationship with it, not expand, not to grow, not to heal, not to subscribe, not to attract, not to experience, but to simply love that which is hidden is the best protection ritual. Because as you begin to get into the mysteries of the spirituality, of the breath, of the divine undercurrent that creates the material overcurrent, that begins to attract the true things. That brings you into Kama, the enjoyment of the flesh, the enjoyment of the spiritual flesh. Nobody on this chat is talking about the wild sex that they had when they was 16, how it benefits them in their 30-something odd years, in their late 20s, in their early 40s. I speak to people from the age range of 25 to 44, nothing more, nothing less. So when we was younger and we was in Kama, it wasn't because we loved God so much. It wasn't because we were sure of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually. We was fucking for no apparent good reason. And we didn't have the education to better ourselves. So, sex is not bad, but I like having sex from a deep spiritual sense. You know, sometimes I might be able to like get a hotel room or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I remember having to sneak girls in my house, fucking them in the basement and shit. And I was grown too. My mom be, what you doing in there? Cause I'm broke. If my mom gotta do this, what you doing in there? What Cardi B say? Broke boys don't deserve pussy. I know that's right. If there was a level of, I would even say karma, if y'all just required men to have money, the world would be a better place. The world would be a million times better if money was the requirement for sex. If all the ladies said, you know what, you got to be making a certain amount of money before I give you some pussy. That's spiritual. Deciding who you fuck based upon weird ass merits creates children who do not have a strong divine masculine presence in their life. And if niggas ain't shit, I'm gonna take a nigga that's not shit with money. If niggas ain't shit, if we gonna just say niggas ain't shit across the board, well then let's just start dealing with the ain't shit niggas with money and leave the ain't shit niggas who do not want to love God, because money comes from loving God. People then will say, well, I know he don't love God, he got money. Let's read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 47. It is better to do one's own Dharma, even though imperfectly, than to do someone else's Dharma, even though perfectly. So you're right. He is not a person that loves God. But he do got a lot of money. But you're going to now use that as your excuse to not love God, to not love the divine nature, to not love your psychic power, to fixate and to think that your job is going to save you and not your meditation. So you're going to work 40 hours a week and you're going to meditate 2 minutes a week, if that. Some of y'all don't meditate 0 minutes a week. So you never relax. You never activate your parasympathetic. Some women don't have semen retention though. So how are they going to retain their semen and if they don't have it? All of this shit that people talk about online that y'all take hook, line, and sinker, it don't work. Semen retention will have you horny and wanting to fuck something. If you don't retain your semen, you're going to be horny and you're going to want to fuck something. So how about we redirect our energy to loving God, to getting our money, and then when we have sex and we get a woman pregnant, we can get her an apartment. We can get her a vehicle. We can get her all of the things she needs to take care of the child. When you broke as fuck, these things are now triggered points. Now you clicking off the video. Hood mystic, you a simp. But would you want your daddy to buy you something, or would you want your daddy to not buy you something? One's in the chat if you want your daddy to simply do the best that he can. Because me personally, I figure my dad not going to be perfect, but I at least want him to try, nigga. Try to do something. But I also understand that there was no requirements for him to get no ass, whatever the case may be. And then I got to also understand that shit. If this shit was perfect and exact, who's to say that I would even incarnate in this planet? But the way that this shit be going, man, if this thing is existential, beginning, middle, and end, then I'm not even going to say that it's a bad thing to be alive. I would say it's a bad thing to be alive if you don't have knowledge of self. Because then you have all of these energies and backwards. So finally, Moksha. Dharma, how deeply you love God. When you love God and Goddess, this is why churches got millions of dollars and your broke ass is buying a fucking eighth from the dispensary. This is why churches, the pastor is driving a Bentley, hopping on jets, and then what we say. Why is the pastor got all of the money? He not robbing them people. Them people is giving them money. You know why? Because they got money. You know why? Because when you give 10% of your money, it's weird how that shit work. You can go on Law of Attraction page after page. Hey man, I give a nigga some money in a heartbeat. If I got $10 and a bum walk on me, I'm giving you that fucking $10, bro. I don't give a fuck about that $10. My kid's gonna want some fucking chips. It's a fucking 7-Eleven. I'd rather give this bum $10 so he can get some fucking liquor, a fucking $5 bump of crack, than to give my kid a fucking Frosty from Wendy's. They don't need that shit. Here you go. Here go this 10. This 10 gonna come into 100. Y'all niggas don't give nobody shit. And then wonder, well, where my finances at? How you expect to give? How you expect to get and you don't give? The richest man in Babylon to tell you that everything with the financial sorcery, these is books you can read. Don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. Read The Richest Man in Babylon. Read Financial Sorcery. He'll talk about charity in both of those books. So then us niggerfied niggas, we just be like, oh, I ain't gonna give nothing to the church. I ain't gonna give nothing to the church. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying church people don't be worried about money like conscious people be worried about money. And it's a reason, because conscious people are scarred from their religious experience. Conscious people hate God. Conscious people hate God. Conscious people hate spirit. Conscious people hate meditation. Conscious people hate nature and developing spiritually. They hate the shit. This is why it's people in the conscious community that's not conscious. They use all of the buzzwords. They buy up all of the herbs. They buy up all of those mushrooms. They buy up all of the things and then say, this is what you need to be spiritual. Because they heard it from another motherfucker. Please believe it. Dharma. How deeply do you love God, Goddess, and all things that come from that? Which creates financial prosperity, which creates the enjoyment of the flesh. You cannot enjoy sex on an air mattress. You cannot enjoy sex in a studio apartment where everybody around you is fucking at the same time. When you come and the nigga in 2B is still fucking his girl for another 2 hours, you might as well just end the relationship. It's over. Because your ass is too fucking broke to have your own house, your own apartment. If you fucking a girl in your mama's house, end the relationship. Resume the relationship when you get your shit together. Moksha. And these are simplified definitions because y'all gonna look on Google and y'all not gonna understand shit that y'all gonna be reading. Because they wrote this shit 5,000 years ago. We in 2023. We need to talk more like Riz and Cap and things of that nature. Got to use that type of verbiage to break this shit down. Moksha, release from the rat race. Most of us are conscious and spiritual, clocking in, clocking out. Clocking in, clocking out. Y'all reading the books when you can. You doing the meditation when you can. But when it come down to the come down, you niggas is going to clock in. You niggas going to clock out because you don't got no other fucking motion to get any type of currency in your fucking bank account. And the reason that this is because you do not love God and Goddess enough to bring prosperity, creative ideas into your life. And maybe you did for a time or two. Remember that time when things was clicking for you in your side hustle or your side business? But that came off of when you was in that homeless shelter and you ain't have nobody and you start to pray and meditate more because you was in the homeless shelter. Then you met Sally, then you met Susie, and then y'all started your little catering business and shit. That month you was making 10 G's a month. So you went and go ahead and lease a car because you wanted to look good. You went and got you an apartment that you couldn't afford because you wanted to live good. And then you started to feel good about yourself. You forgot you was even in the homeless shelter, praying and meditating. One's in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Let me get some eyes in the chat if you see what I'm saying. So you figured it out, but you forgot the process. And so the reason why I have a job is because I'm just here to be your faithful reminder that it's not what you manifest, it's how you manifested it. Because what you manifest can come and go. But how you manifest it, we've been talking about the same shit for 5,000 years. And it's very simple. It's very simple. You love that nigga more than you love God. You love your kids more than you love God. You love that girl more than you love God. When you call that girl's phone at 10 o'clock and that whole phone don't answer, and you was on IG and you seen the little green thing said that she was online. So you know you can't be on IG without your phone. So she got the phone in her hand. You call her. She sends your shit to voicemail. And you don't hear from her till the morning. If that shit break you down, it's okay. Because you out of pocket in the first place. You loving that girl more than you love God and Goddess. Because at the end of the day, when the girl do that shit to me, because it has been done for me from time to time, I just let him know that God is about to send me a girl way better than you in the future. So keep on playing the motherfucking silly ass games as much as you want to. And that's just how it plays out, you know? But just wanted to do a little simplified version of karma. And I know that's a hard thing to wrap your mind around, but my ass got to go to the gym. So I can't keep talking to y'all about it. Watch this video again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go through it one more time. So let's start from the beginning and let's just do it. And then that's the end of the video. So Baghdad, I don't know how to pronounce it. Baghdad Vagita, chapter 18, verse 47 says, "It is better to do one's own Dharma, even though imperfectly." So it's better to follow your own soul, even if you fuck up from time to time, because we all do, than to do another's Dharma, even though perfectly. So if I take an online class and the weird motherfucker give me straight A's on some online bullshit about spirituality, that I feel like I did a good job, everybody around me telling me I did a good job, so I feel like I did a good job. You ain't did shit. You ain't did a damn thing. By doing one's innate duty. So if you wake up in the morning and you follow your soul, can't nothing go wrong. But if you wake up and you say, I hate this fucking job, can't stand this job, but you go anyway, that puts you in the worst person in the world category. So karma is desires, wants, likes, and requirement. Karma separates every human being because every human being has a different set of desires, wants, likes, and requirements. If you was in the rural part of the town and went to the rural part of the high school, the girls would either want to fuck with you or not want to fuck with you because you ain't like the niggas that's around there. That's karma. You could be mad about it, or you can go down to the hood where the girls like tall, dark, handsome, you know, skinny niggas, because the girls think he's skinny, he must have a big thing. So you start pulling chicks when you go to the hood high school. How many of y'all went to the white high school, didn't have no emotion, said, Ma, I can't do this, I gotta go back to the fucking ghetto. You go back to that ghetto a year with the white people, you be like, damn, I'm home. What up, my nigga? You back to selling dope again, right? So karma separates us all. Desires, wants, likes, requirements separate us from every single person. Now, what unifies us? What gets us out of this separation and into unification? How deeply do you love God? That's Dharma. How deeply do you love the God-Goddess principle? That's Dharma. This brings you into Artha. You're going to get things, but you got to be smart enough not to love the things that you get. Now, once you got things and you love God and you've separated from how to get it, you know how to get it, you don't focus on what you got, you focus on how to get it, that brings you into karma, the enjoyment of the flesh, right? Now, this is where we could really get into the enjoyment of the flesh, because we got our shit together and we love the God and Goddess and we're into the spiritual side of things. And I got another video about wounds. I want to get into this. I need to get a little deeper. But anyways, Moksha. We love God and Goddess. We got our finances together. We got our partner. We enjoy the flesh. We enjoy the relationship experience. And that frees us from the rat race. That's Moksha. And if you can keep track of these 4 things, and I'm saying a very simple thing to do, if you ain't got shit, begin to love God. Begin to love your divine nature. Find that shit. If a nigga is on some bullshit, if a nigga is going back to his baby mama, right? If your girl cheating on you with your brother, it's very important to deal with yourself. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into this gym and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.